Help your school build a video library.
Thanks to the Weather Channel, cable in the classroom comes home.
Do we have to go back for lunch?
In the next half hour, Weather Center, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
The U.S. is experiencing a seasonal split this very moment. We are looking at warm and spring-like conditions to the east, but meanwhile it is snowy and stormy across much of the second half of the country to the west. Thanks for joining us here at Weather Center. I'm Lisa Moser.
And I'm Mike Bono. Yes, severe weather threatening the upper Midwest, northern plains this afternoon as a cold front pushes eastward. And behind that, we're looking at a big area of snow in much of the west. More on that in a minute, but let's take a look at the map and pinpoint the severe threats as we move on into the afternoon hours. We're looking at a frontal system and a high pressure system. I mean, it's the tale of two weather systems. The big Bermuda high is pumping a lot of hot air from old Mexico and moisture from the Gulf all the way up to the upper Midwest, where it's intersecting some colder air aloft and a frontal system and the jet stream, and you're getting some severe weather. More on all this snow in the west in just a minute. But our big threat area coming in from the west, that's usually where you have a dry punch, and in this case a cold front. That ends the threat of severe weather about central Kansas back through Nebraska. I-70, I-80 threatened, I-29 certainly threatened. Sometimes this time of the year with blizzard conditions, this time today with some severe threats. I-90 right through Minnesota. But more immediate concern is the area in Wisconsin where we have a severe weather watch in effect through, I believe it's 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. The last Sunday you'll be dealing with Standard Time. Next week at this time we'll be on Daylight Time, so get used to that. Some puffy clouds in the warm and increasingly humid air mass in the middle of the nation, and then a lot of sunshine heating up the atmosphere, and that intersects our boundary, our front, and the upper level winds producing some big thunderstorms, even some large hail. So far, places like Waushara and Winnebago counties in Wisconsin, 1 to 2 inch hail in the last hour or two, and now Brown County, Wisconsin, has a severe weather warning in effect. As we see just southwest of Green Bay, an arc of showers and thunderstorms. The southernmost one, the strongest, that's the one that's most deeply in the warm air. That's usually how it goes, and that could even have some large hail and some severe damaging winds, so be ready for that. Southeast of Eau Claire, another storm, and even some thunderstorms moving into upper Michigan. And the whole constellation of cloudiness, an array of clouds, leads us to some colder weather off into the southwest parts of South Dakota, where you get a chilly rain and then it turns to snow in the Black Hills. Snow moving on in through a lot of Wyoming and Colorado. We've had 2-3 feet of snow or more. The San Juans, at least, and the Colorado Rockies, a couple of rounds of snow in the last 3 days or so. Just since yesterday, at least 20 inches in the San Juans around Telluride. We're looking at Purgatory with a lot of new snow, and Flagstaff had a foot of snow just yesterday. As the morning sun comes out, we notice our snow rotating through Nevada and Idaho. Some clearer weather now in Washington and Oregon. Enjoy springtime there, but it's not really spring-like in Colorado, Utah, where you had about 1.5 feet of snow in the Little Cottonwood Canyon around Alta, and New Mexico now getting snow, and the Sierra as well, and some showers lingering in Southern California around San Diego County. But it's spotty, it's showery snow in Colorado, a steadier type of snow on into Cheyenne, Wyoming, and the heartland of Wyoming, as we see some more rain at lower elevations and snow showers high up into New Mexico. But this is the forecast. Any of these medium whites are 6 inches or more, and maybe up to 1 foot additional snow in some areas. Now more on the heat. Here's Lisa.
Mike loves the snow. Did you notice how happy he is? We're looking east, Mike. All we see is sunshine and warm temperatures. It seems that we may be just skipping over spring and going right into summer. Cherry blossoms and sunshine. What more could folks in the D.C. area ask for, you ask? Being in the shade might be something to ask for, maybe a shade tree. Temperatures keep climbing today. The record high for this day, 84 degrees, and there is a good chance that we will be breaking that record this afternoon. The average high temperature, by the way, this time of the year, 61. So if you're out and about, going to the mall, you'll need some sunscreen or maybe a real big hat because, hey, it's warm out there, lots of sunshine. You'll notice looking at the long wave first that we have a ridging that's allowing for the temperatures to build here to the east, troughing to the west. That's that colder air pumping all that colder moisture into the system, colder air pumping into our very moist-fed system. You'll notice that the satellite is also showing that we have cloudy skies out here to the west behind this system. This is also where we're looking at some very cold temperatures. Many of the temperatures feel like, hey, we're back up in Canada. We're noticing lots of 30s and 40s, 70s and 80s, and we're not done yet. These temperatures will be climbing. I want to point out, too, that with those cool temperatures, we are seeing winds gusting across Oregon, sometimes around 40 miles per hour. It's a northwesterly wind coming in behind this area. And you'll notice, too, that we have some pretty good temperatures along the Gulf already. Lots of 80s. Brownsville reporting 82 degrees at this hour. Looking at Tampa, 83 degrees. San Angelo, Texas, 82. It is likely that Atlanta will also see a high temperature today if we get around 85 degrees. I want to show you that the wind chills to the north make temperatures feel kind of downright bitterly cold. Billings, Montana, boy, you got hit pretty good yesterday, right? And right now with all that snow on the ground, isn't it bad enough the snow is on the ground, but you have to have a wind chill that makes it feel like 8 degrees outside. Looking at a few record high temperatures, and hey, there are more to come, okay? Atlantic City, New Jersey, already 77. Looking at Bridgeport, Connecticut, 77 also, but it is likely that we will see additional record high temperatures as we head into the afternoon hours later today. Monterey, California, a record low this morning. Let me tell you about some of the cooler weather because it is going to be affecting us. If you are in and around Salem, maybe going over to Eureka, California, this is an area that's going to be experiencing temperatures falling around 30, maybe 33 degrees overnight tonight, and we do have a freeze warning in effect again tonight for the southwest area of Oregon. Colder air continues to pull on in. Our frontal boundary finally pushes into Texas as we head into the evening hours. Now tomorrow, high pressure still the dominant weather maker. Lots of moisture headed up ahead of this system. You'll notice that the snow rainmaker will be in and around International Falls. Maybe if you're headed up to Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, you may run into a mix of rain and snow. More mountain snow for Mike out west. We are talking about one happy camper when we start saying over 1 foot of snow in some parts of the Continental Divide. And look at the temperatures. They'll be keeping a lot of that snow in place. We're talking 30s and 40s out west. Meanwhile, the 80s take over the Ohio Valley area. Low temperatures tomorrow morning as you make your way into work across the east will continue to be kind of mild.
Okay, well, we'll be taking a look at the severe weather in the Midwest and the snow in the West on TravelWise coming up.
So don't go away. That's right after your local forecast. I dated Theodore Roosevelt.
I babysat Bob Dole, okay?
Why are people suddenly pretending to be older? Right now at Pearl, your age is your discount. Save 1 to 100% on new frames depending on your age. What are you waiting for? Put your pearls on.
You can use your Visa card at the Pearl Vision Center nearest you.
Limited time, get a jet ski watercraft with 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 6 months.
When you want to stand out, Nothing demands attention like posted flags. Posted flags help you sort, file, organize.
It's free by cable. Volunteer to help your school build a video library. Thanks to the Weather Channel, Cable in the Classroom comes home.
Do we have to go back for lunch?
In the next half hour, Weather Center, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Changes faster than the weather, but we're running a close second. Stay informed with Weather Center all day today and every day.
In the next half hour, Weather Center, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
My shoes are wet, my socks are wet. I hate the rain.
Well, maybe the rain hates you.
Yeah, you tell him, Jer. Who, me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Maybe the rain hates you. How can we appreciate the sun if we don't have the rain? It irrigates crops.
Look, I think you just better leave, all right?
I love the rain.
Not worth it, Jerry.
Severe thunderstorms are flaring up across the upper Midwest and northern plains this afternoon. Welcome to Weather Center. I'm Bob Stokes. A tornado watch has been issued for parts of Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. For the latest details, we go to Mike Bono in the Forecast Center.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, we have a very active day in the world of severe weather. We've got a frontal boundary stretched out across the upper Midwest, some very high winds aloft, and a lot of warm, moist air pumping on in from the Gulf of Mexico. Let's take a look at the latest severe weather and tornado watches that we have in that area. And the yellow now is severe weather watch or severe thunderstorm watch, a new one around Minneapolis on toward Rhinelander, Wisconsin. And then we have two tornado watches below. This one was originally a thunderstorm watch when the cells became, or thunderstorm echoes on radar became a lot more intense and some large hail started falling. And back to the west, Minnesota and northern Iowa, we have another tornado watch in effect. Usually when you start getting hail of baseball size or larger, you seriously think about tornadoes because there is a correlation between very large hail and tornadic thunderstorms. But severe weather could extend all the way to Muskegon, Michigan. Remember the lake effect snows we had there just days ago? Back on into the southern half of Minnesota. And then a little later, this little hook or appendage to the south is an indicator of some dry air punching on in ahead of a cool front. We often refer to them as dry line type thunderstorms, and there could be some severe weather breaking out in that area. But this is a scenario. We have a Bermuda high way off the east coast, and Bermuda highs usually mean warm weather. You're going to get another record-breaking warm day in the northeast today, and a lot of strong winds coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. How do you know that? Isobars are densely packed, and the dew points are up to about 60 degrees as far north as Chicago. Cool easterly winds to the north, southerly winds to the south. When you have them coming in like that, there's got to be a converging area. They come together right along that front, and that provides some of the lift that you're getting of these storms. 76 in Des Moines, 53 in Minneapolis, 78 in Lincoln, Nebraska, 57 in Sioux Falls. So we have the temperature contrast. You folks are saying, what is all the shouting about in Chicago, Rockford, Moline? It's a beautiful summer-like day out there playing Frisbee. But just to the north, some large thunderstorms have been battering the area. You could see some of the tall shadows of those storms around Green Bay once again and back around La Crosse, Wisconsin. They're lining up south of Minneapolis toward Des Moines and even back to South Dakota. As we take a look at our satellite and radar composite, we can see the red areas and yellow and orange areas indicative of the heaviest echoes on radar, and that is where the storminess is most prevalent. Now, we had one storm that went out over the lake that had 4-inch size hail in Calumet County. Now there's another twin brother beginning to come in north of Green Bay. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in Oconto County and Marinette County north of Green Bay, and you've already had large hail here, golf ball size hail out of this one. And off to the west, storms are getting pretty vicious as well, moving into western Wisconsin. And we have had a tornado warning in Minnesota in Scott County right about here, although no tornadoes reported, and a severe thunderstorm warning now in Anoka County. We've had large hail here also, about an inch or bigger, around Minneapolis, St. Paul. So here is your trouble zone all the way to southwest Minnesota, now coming up on Redwood Falls. Watch out for that. That spawned off a line of thunderstorms around Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So it doesn't look too pretty today. Much of the nation's heartland is occupied by severe weather watches and severe weather potential. Even the southwest has some threat of strong thunderstorms, which we're going to check in the studio. But when you can't be near your TV set, remember the computer, the website, weather.com is where to go for the latest information from the Weather Channel cable network. Now back to the studio with Bob Stokes.
Well, thanks a lot, Mike. It's the tale of two seasons across the rest of the country. Spring has been bypassed by summer across much of the east. And in the west, winter lingers. Here's what I'm talking about on the western map. Look at the snowflakes flying. I was looking at observations from Rapid City, South Dakota, all the way down to the Grand Canyon in Arizona and even points beyond. We've got snow. You see it here because on this side of the front, The air is cold enough for that snow. What a big temperature contrast this frontal system is creating, or is indicative of. Very warm here, very chilly here, cold enough for the snow, and in some cases blowing around over portions of western Colorado. We're up to 40 inches has fallen, creating some road closures. 4 roads had to be closed, passes, and even the Department of Transportation in Colorado, they lost one of their snow plows when a pass, on the side of a pass, the plow tumbled 200 feet. But the snow is still coming down. It's in Durango, Colorado, and you can see it. We'll just make some radar stops here. Snowflakes flying around Billings. Even Butte was reporting a few light snow showers. Lander, Wyoming, Casper, Sheridan, all seeing snow right now. And getting into Rapid City, you just got to be careful along the major highways, I-50. Getting into Delta, Utah, we're seeing some light snow, and again around Grand Junction, especially the San Juan and Sangre de Cristos, you're looking at some significant snows overnight tonight. Albuquerque, you're looking at some light snow. It's falling in Albuquerque now. So what a difference a frontal system makes. So be careful driving along I-40. We could see along the Bitterroot Range, the Wasatch, the Teton Range, 6 to 12 inches of snow through midnight tonight. Now, one reason why we're seeing such a big temperature contrast is that Bermuda High. Now Mike touched upon that. This is subsiding air, and plus it's also a clockwise flow and bringing in that warm air from the subtropics. So temperatures here are significantly warmer than they normally would be this time of the year. In fact, it's 76 in Des Moines, 79 in Chicago as you go to Grant Park, for example, 84 in the nation's capital, and just very warm along the Gulf Coast. In fact, we've already have a record high in Washington, D.C. at Dulles International Airport of 85 degrees. And people took advantage of it today. Look at that beautiful scene, bicycle riding and cherry blossoms and sunshine. What more could the folks in D.C. ask for? You may be asking for a shade tree if the temperature keeps climbing today, but we've already reached that record high of 85, the old record 84 degrees. Now the average high this time of the year is 61, so we were a full 24 degrees or more from the record, or from the average. So if you're out and about on the mall, remember the sunscreen. Elsewhere, Bridgeport, Connecticut, 77. And we are generally 19 degrees warmer now in Des Moines than we were 24 hours ago, 6 degrees warmer in the nation's capital where those cherry blossoms are looking so nice. Here's the forecast, the high staying in charge for your commute or for your drive where you're going in the nation's capital this evening. And we'll talk about the commute in a moment, but there's the snowflakes flying across Wyoming, and you still got to be careful driving westward out of Denver tomorrow morning. Could be a messy one, but in the nation's capital, enjoy the cherry blossoms as you drive to work, because the high will still be in charge. It's still going to be on the warm side, though, and you're going to be dry from New York down to Washington, D.C. Not so in the upper Midwest. An inch or two of rainfall possible in that area of dark green, and in the area of gray, 6 to 12 inches of snow. There's that warm weather you can see scooting up around that Bermuda High, the 80s, all the way up into the southern part of New England. So it's going to be pretty toasty getting into Boston for highs today, or tomorrow, very nice. And then there's a look at lows this morning. We're looking at Chicagoland in the 60s. Or if you're going to be traveling in the upper Midwest where the severe weather's going on, we'll have travel-wise and details some trouble spots in a moment.
the wonderful feeling of stepping into a freshly clean shower? Now you can get that feeling every day without having to clean your shower again. Because now there's new Tilex Fresh Shower. After your shower, spray a light mist. Don't scrub or even rinse. Tilex Fresh Shower keeps soap scum and mildew from building up, so your shower is always clean and fresh. Try new Tilex Fresh Shower.
Changes faster than the weather, but we're running a close second. Stay informed with Weather Center all day today and every day.
In the next half hour, Weather Center, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.